When was that law published, the public hearing published? Joe?
December. This is a continuation of this December hearings.
Okay, but it significantly was changed by adding that whole chapter on bamboo. That's a whole chapter. And I had spoken to somebody and they said that you have to republish the public hearing because you significantly changed the law. I just want to make that statement.
Can I just, I remember at the December meeting, I asked specifically if this was going to, that public hearing was going to be terminated, closed, or continued. And it was confirmed that it was closed at the time. And minutes didn't say that, but it was clearly stated that that public hearing was closed in December. No, we didn't.
No.
I know you left several others open, and I've asked specifically if this one was going to be closed or continued. I don't know if there was a video made at that time, but it was stated that it was going to be closed. And so, I mean, in addition, I'll save the comments about not having any idea what the present rule says because the version I got from the clerk's office 2 days ago still says December 8 on it. And
My recommendation is that we should stop the multiple versions. You have different people working at the same time, just tie it together into one version. Renotice the public meeting, public hearing for the next meeting, and then we'll not have any more changes.
We were all mixed up right here ourselves.
Yeah, and that's good, then we can fix the things that we
Okay, pull it together and then we'll just renotice.
Okay, so I don't have to make any motion for any of that.
Well, no, the board would have a motion to, we'll renotice the public hearing for the next public meeting on the property maintenance code.
My recollection, Raj, just for the record, is that we did intend, we thought it was a good point about the bamboo, it was a clear omission. And so we were continuing, so I don't know what was said, maybe mistakenly said.
well, I don't know. When the mayor says, yes, we are closing the public hearing, I assume that means that we're
But
closing.
anyway, this solves.
Well, I think
Sure does.
It would be good to as Joe suggests, sort of draw the line and make sure we're all discussing the same thing. Thank you.
Okay. We have left is local law 2017, authorize the board of trustees to exceed the state tax levy limit for 2017 and 2018. Artie, do you want to explain a little bit why we're going to take that vote?
Because of the lowering of the tax cap percentage, and Governor Cuomo is actually pushing all sorts of newfangled laws and rulings, but it still has to go through the assembly and the state. It seems like what he's trying to do is actually dissolve any of the villages, so he's pushing that we share services and whatever, which we're doing, and we're going to move to do more. But since he has lowered the tax cap rate down to 1.15, actually. Yeah. So just to protect ourselves because of maintenance that we need to do and other costs always going up. Just to protect ourselves, to pierce the tax cap. Doesn't mean we're going to do it, but just to protect ourselves, you should vote to do it. And then if we don't break it, we don't break it. But you have to vote to do it just to cover
And since we're
ourselves.
still working on the budget, we don't know.
Yeah, and we don't know. We're still waiting for the assessment roll from Brookhaven, so we can't even figure it out yet. But.
Would anybody like to make comments on that?
I have a question. So this is basically what this would do would be allow you to raise our taxes any amount you like, dependent upon what you may come up with in the new budget. So that this is like writing you a blank check for anything you would like to do, for expanding the town hall, for making a dock, for anything. Is that what this would do?
This would allow us to go over the cap of 1.15.
For any reason and any amount.
Not for any reason, for the budget of 2017, 2018, which the board would have to approve.
For any amount.
No,
There's
it's not,
no-
there's other restrictions under law, this is just the one restriction,
No, but
the 1.1, I'm sorry, if you want an answer, do you want to, I'll listen to you, I'm sorry, apologize, if you want an answer, ask.
you can continue to say what you're
That's
saying,
okay,
and then I'll ask my question. This is to go beyond the 1.15% cap.
Yes.
By any amount, are you setting a limit above which you will not go beyond?
There are.
Can you go, I mean,
There's limits in place.
what are those limits?
You can only go up to a certain amount for your constitutional tax limit anyway. We have,
What is
that's another, report that we have to file with the state.
And what is that
Okay,
limit?
and then, well, we have to work on that once we get our, we have to wait for Brookhaven to give us our tax roll. We can't do anything until we get the roll from Brookhaven. That's our start. So,
But you could increase it 1,000%.
You can't,
No.
That's what the question is.
no.
Is there a limit, and what is that limit by which you can
There
increase
is a
it?
limit, we don't know what the limit is without the tax roll. Okay. Is that correct?
That's right.
Yes.
So
Okay,
the numbers that excuse me, I don't mean to
no,
speak
you
for you.
go ahead.
The numbers that create the limits, the other limits that we have are in the process right now in Brookhaven of being determined. They have to do with assessments, our assessment, the assessment of the town, the total assessment of the town of Brookhaven, things like that. So the problem is that all villages face with this low cap is that we don't know what our budget's going to be. The cap is so low now; it's 1.15%. That if we wanted to, if we could lower taxes, obviously, but if we needed to raise them to 1.16%, we couldn't do that. We could only go to 1.15%. So what most villages do as a precaution is they give themselves this authorization because you can't do it you can't do it after the fact. You can only do it before the budget consideration. So that's
Right.
Well, does that,
Or you can continue. You can go ahead.
does that mean, but right now, what makes you think we're gonna go over budget?
Based on what expenses we're gonna have for next year.
What are they?
We have,
How can
Tennis
I,
court-
as a
tennis-
fiduciary of the village, vote on something that I don't have any of the numbers?
maintenance of the roads, the tennis courts, the community dock, all kinds of projects that are coming up. GEI's project to put in more trees, take out trees. So based on what we're putting in as the numbers that we think the budget's gonna run next year, we feel we're gonna be over the tax cap.
Well, you have down here that you're $25,000 under budget on snow,
Right.
so.
We're gonna consider that
So
too,
we're
but we're
gonna,
wanting.
so we're gonna go
this
with what we collected this year, plus the $25,000, and then go over that by over 1.2%. You already
Well, we
know
don't
we
know.
have to do that.
No, we don't know that. We're in the process of working on it now, but we have to do this now so that if that is the case.
What's the timing? I don't, I haven't been in the loop here about when the timing is, when that has to be made, and is this a normal thing? That somebody
Yes,
vote
it
a
is.
I think
blank,
that's what's getting
a
lost.
blank check?
This is
Yeah,
it.
because
Yeah.
Your budget
It sounds like a
has-
blank check to me.
Your budget has to be finalized by April 15th, 2017.
This
Your hearing date is April 13th to finalize your budget. Before that time, you have 2 meetings of this board and work sessions to go over your budget.
So how are the other
Isn't it, no,
villages
isn't it April
handling it?
30th?
the tentative budget. You have to have a budget hearing by April 15th, and the tentative budget has to be adopted by April 30th. If you don't adopt the budget by April 30th, whatever you have as a tentative budget becomes your official budget, as if you had adopted it. So it's April 30th. So most villages do this just to give themselves a leeway.
I think that's what wasn't said, and I think it
Right,
needs to be
so
said.
Oldfield has voted to do
Yeah.
this.
This is done all around, and you'll see the articles in the paper, this village, especially the school districts. It's done, many times it's done in our village in the past, a number of times. It's not it sounds like this is, wait a minute, what's going on here? This is a routine thing that villages do and people do with budgets because we're under a cap. sometimes you have to do that.
No,
The other thing that,
you keep talking.
Are you gonna interrupt him again?
I didn't interrupt him. I was starting to speak. Excuse me. I will not interrupt him. He can continue to say what he was going to say, and then I will say,
she asked me a question.
Oh,
Okay,
pathetic.
thank you. Any other comments?
I do have a question, if I can please ask it. My question is, are you willing to set, so I do understand that you don't know how much money you're going to have because of all the assessments, but in terms of a percentage increase, you are anticipating you are going to have greater than a 1.15% increase, given the expenses that you are anticipating adding to the budget that you had last year, because we have what our budget was last year. You can make a guesstimate in terms of what inflation rate is and everything else and what the future budget should be, and then put in a cushion or whatever. Can you give us a limit to which you will be raising this? You said you will not raise it 1,000%, but
We can't give you a limit at this time.
or what will be included in the additional budget beyond what you're putting into this year's budget, so that will be influencing that increase?
No, we'll have, when she gives it to the public hearing, everyone will get to see it and make comments on it. We don't have it yet. We're working on it. Any other comments?
Ron Cagle, 10 Maple Avenue. I'd just like to make a comment. Looking at the figures, the email about the dock, it sounds to me like the public dock seems to be the driving force in what's going to increase our budget a lot more than I'd like to see it increase.
Any other ones?
How does it affect the rebate check that the taxpayers get once a year from the state?
That's going to end next year, isn't it?
Right, that comes to an end in 18 anyway.
Okay, but so the last year to get that check will be 18, or this is the last year?
17.
So this year
This
is the
it.
last year.
This is it.
That doesn't affect it at all.
Okay.
Any other comments?
I just wanted to finish the point I was trying to make before that. There are certain mandated
Child.
costs that we get from New York State, retirement, little retirement payments that we make, and insurance and other payments that we're required to make by New York State. Most of those have double-digit increases. So when we talk about a 1.15% increase, we're really you're starting off with an increase that the state passes along of maybe 5%, just under the mandates that they have. So it's not even a 1.15% increase that the cap is. It's actually a decrease that they're mandating, because they give you an increase to start with on the things that they make you pay. That they ratchet up. So there's costs that the state passes along to us that we don't have any control over. They have very large increases every year. So the 1.15% is actually working down from an increase that the state passed along.
Okay.
So it's not really even a 1.15% increase. It's like a 5% decrease that's mandated every year, because the state has passed along increases that we have to deal with.
Any other comments? Okay, do I have a motion to, do I walk first or do I close the public hearing?
So just close the public hearing.
Motion to close the public hearing on exceeding taxes. Second?